Are you unable to three-step over the hurdles no matter how much you work on your technique? Well, it's possible there's something else holding you back, your speed. I'm going to be reviewing a video from a high school girl who's having this very issue. Let's check it out because it might be something that you can learn from what I show her. This is Emily. She's a high school junior who competes in the sprints, hurdles, and long jump. She's really serious about track and she spends a lot of extra time outside of practice trying to get better. But no matter how hard she tries, she just can't seem to three-step over the hurdles, so she reached out for help. When I watch her, the first thing I notice is while she looks good, I don't see a lot of power or acceleration like I do with good hurdlers. I also see that she's taking 9 steps to the first hurdle rather than 8 like most athletes, and she's jumping pretty high over it. Digging deeper, I found out that Emily's PRs are 10.83 for the 60-meter hurdles, 17.9 for the 100-meter hurdles, and somewhere in the low 14s to mid-14s for the 100-meter dash. Well, these aren't particularly bad times. They're not what I'd expect from a junior who's been working hard at this for a while. I also found out that Emily dealt with pretty serious shin splints last season, so that could have contributed. Putting this all together, this is what I'm thinking so far. Emily might not have the speed in order to be a good three-stepper. In my experience, a girl needs to be at least in the low 13 seconds for the 100-meter dash in order to have the speed to three-step. All my good girl hurdlers have been somewhere under 13 in 12 point something for the 100-meter dash. In cases like this, I tend to teach the hurdler how to be the best four-stepper they can be. But in Emily's case, she's not ready to give up on three-stepping, so I'm going to treat it like I do with athletes that are kind of on the bubble. At each hurdle session, right after the hurdle warm-up, I suggest spacing 4 hurdles out at a distance that the athlete can successfully three-step, even if it's 2 to 3 feet shorter than race distance. But the athlete has to run with good sprint form. No reaching out for the steps and no slowing down at the hurdle. I suggest 2 to 3 repetitions only with at least 4 minutes rest between each repetition. The goal is that the athlete learns the rhythm, gains confidence, improves their form, and this actually starts to feel easy and maybe even the hurdles being too close. When this happens, you spread out the hurdles about 6 inches and repeat this process till eventually, hopefully, the athlete gets to where they're about 12 to 18 inches away from race spacing. So for the girls, that's about 8 meters or 26.5 feet, and for boys, that's 29 feet. Now this could take days, weeks, months, or maybe never happen if they don't have the speed. In the meantime, if the athlete still wants to race, you could simultaneously be teaching them to be a really good four-stepper. So what you do in this case is once you're finished with the three-stepping repetitions, you spread the hurdles out to the official race spacing and go over it with 4 steps. Now let's take a look at what Emily needs to do to improve. Okay, with Emily, her first 4 steps coming out of the blocks actually look pretty good. Even her 5th step looks nice. And her 6th step looks nice, but it starts to get smaller here, I notice. And then her 7th step is also a small step, kind of a shuffle step. And then she has a very small 8th step. And then she throws in a 9th step, but you notice that she's reaching out here and it's getting well out in front of her center of mass. So she's actually putting on the brakes here. So the last 3 steps, she started to slow down a little bit and really put her brakes on the last one. So she's going to have to stop this, and what I would recommend doing here is try to do it in 8 steps. She might want to move the hurdle out of the way and then put a piece of tape down where she should land on her 8th step, and then practice going from the start block to that and landing there on 8 steps with no reaching out. So that means that on her 5th, 6th, and 7th step, she's going to have to cover a little more ground in order to do this, so her 8th step is more underneath her. Then she'll have more speed, which should hopefully give her more confidence to go over the hurdle without hopping over it the way she's doing here. A lot of times athletes subconsciously know that they don't have the speed that's necessary to get over the hurdle, and that's why they hop over the hurdle like this. Now when I look at her touchdown, she actually looks really good here. This is exactly what you want the athlete to be like. She's got a near straight leg, she's got her hips forward nearly on top of her ankle, and her knee is still high. And then when she comes down, this is actually a good looking first step. Second step also looks pretty good. The third step looks good also. But the fourth step is very similar to the ninth step that she had going into the first hurdle, where you could see that she's reaching out in front of her. So we want to stop that. We want to get the foot underneath her just like she did with the other 3 steps, so she doesn't put on the brakes and she can go over this next hurdle faster. And again, because she'll have more speed, she should be able to go over it flatter and not hop over it like this. And again, we'll repeat the pattern where she'll have more speed to get to the next hurdle in 3 steps. Now, although 4-stepping is not ideal and it definitely gives the athlete a disadvantage over 3-steppers, at the high school level, there's some tricks that they can do to actually even the playing field. If you look at the elite hurdlers, when they're running between the hurdles, they don't take long, full strides. They take very quick strides with a low heel recovery or heel lift on the backside that enables to turn over quickly to get to the next hurdle faster. High school hurdlers, because it's always such a challenge to get to the next hurdle, don't have that opportunity, so they can't do that. But if you're 4-stepping, you can actually teach yourself to run with those really quick, fast strides, and it could get you to the hurdle faster than some 3-steppers. That's it. I hope you learned a lot from Emily's situation. If you'd like to see how I can help you with your hurdling, I've got some options. You can submit your video for a free review. Each week I select one to share on YouTube. But if you'd rather have a sure thing and it be private, you should consider a virtual coaching session. I also have a free hurdle technique and drill guide. This shows you everything you need to look at to improve your technique, all the common mistakes, and how to fix them and what drills to use to fix them. I'll leave a link for all these in the description and in the comments. Until next time, Coach Ace out.